Berlin, Berlin, du bist ein heißes Pflaster. Wer dich nicht kennt, verbrüht sich leicht den Fuß. Wo die Moral wohnt, wohnt auch gleich das Laster. Und der Verriss blüht neben süßen Schmus. Das ist Berlin, wie es weint und wie es lacht.
Bin ein Berliner.
Welcome to a new My Berlin. Today I'm meeting Sarah Bowden. She's a musical star and will perform later on in the Komische Oper. But first she invited us to her beautiful home. Sarah Bowden is a part and parcel of the Berlin Theaterszene and also has performed in many other venues in major productions. Sarah has made a name of herself beyond the borders of Germany and Austria and is well known on the international stage. Now it's time that I visit Sarah Bowden at home and she will show me my Berlin. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, welcome. Come in. Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Come in.
Wow.
Welcome to my house.
Beautiful.
Come in.
Wow. This is amazing.
This is my kitchen.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, this is where I live.
Nice.
I love it. It's home.
So now we're sitting here in your beautiful apartment, your kitchen. It's so nice. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, we're also excited. And before we start telling the viewers what you do, I want to know about the Sarah Bowden. Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Australia, in Sydney.
Nice.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, in the western suburbs, so not at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I grew up in Sydney, and my mother's family comes from Malta.
Yeah.
So from the little island Malta in Europe. So they're European.
so Malta.
Malta, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So they're Maltese, and they came to Australia after the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very close tie to Malta and to my family there. And my dad's family came from England with the second boat that came from the English people to Australia. We've traced it back. So
The second boat?
yes, not the first fleet, but the second one. So we've
Okay.
traced that all the way back. And yeah, so I'm exactly half, and yeah, but born in Australia.
So you grew up there and you went to school normally. And when did you find out that you have a talent of you want to sing, dance, perform?
Actually, the story goes, when I was a child, I used to walk with my toes like this, and I used to trip over my own feet. So the doctor told my mother to take me to ballet class. And I started ballet when I was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I started dancing, and I loved it. I stopped doing ballet after a while because I had to choose between ballet and tap dancing, and tap dancing was so much more fun because it made more noise.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been dancing and performing and ever since,
And
I think.
what is your memory of your first performing in front of people? Was it in school, kindergarten?
My first memory performing, it's not, my first memory performing. I remember I remember my first dance class, the first time I remember being in a dance class, and I was probably 3 or 4, I don't remember. And I remember I really had to use the bathroom, and we were in a wooden building with wooden floors, old wooden floorboards with big holes in them. And I remember doing a circle. We had to do a circle around the room, and I remember peeing my pants in a circle, and you could see.
You were peeing in your pants?
Yes, I ran in a circle, and you could
That's
see this
cute.
circle.
No.
And then I ran outside to my mom. That's
Did you
how young
cry?
I was. I did.
Oh.
I did.
And everybody thought it was so cute.
I think so. That's crazy how young I was when I started doing this, you know. But that's the first thing I remember. I also remember dancing at my auntie's wedding. I remember pushing everybody away from the dance floor because I wanted to be in the middle and dance by myself.
So you always wanted to be in the middle?
I think so.
You grew up with a sister and brothers?
2 brothers. I have 2 younger brothers. One younger brother is 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
He's also a performer, musical and singer.
Oh, cool.
I remember him.
It runs in the family.
Yeah, I think so. My parents have nothing to do with theatre. My mum's an accountant. My dad is a builder.
Okay.
But yeah, I went to dance class and my brother followed me along, and until my mother put him in dance class as well. And he's in Australia, a big musical star in Australia.
Wow.
Works at the Australian Opera Company sometimes as well. So yeah, he's also that. And my baby brother, who's 8 years younger than me, or 10 or something like that, he is also a musician, guitar, and he sings. He has the most wonderful voice. So we're all doing something crazy and artistic.
Yeah, you play an instrument as well? Or?
No, I don't.
But you do lots of other things we're going to show later. And when is the first time you came to Germany?
My first time in Germany, I was living and working in London, and I did an audition for a show in Germany, a tour, a 6-month tour through Germany. And I had to leave London because of my visa had run out, my Australian visa, and I thought, I'll go back home.
How old were you there?
24, 5.
So it was a
6.
couple of months ago.
Couple of months ago, exactly. So young, I was young. But I was in London and I wanted to come home, and then this tournée was going through Germany, so I did an audition and I got the job, and I thought, perfect, 6 months through Germany before I go back home.
Where did you came to Germany? Where in what?
I arrived at Düsseldorf.
Okay.
In Düsseldorf, I arrived with my suitcase.
She says it really proudly. Yeah,
Düsseldorf and the directions to the hotel, and I sat in the taxi and I thought, oh no, they speak German in Germany.
That's funny. Really?
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, because you were in Europe and there was English in England, right?
I think so. It's just so close. Like, I'm from Australia, so everything's so far away. And I got on a plane, and an hour later I was in Düsseldorf. And then I arrived, and I was like, oh, it's really crazy.
Funny.
And I had this job with this show, and then all of these things to do. And the director said, don't you speak German? I was like, no, I don't. So, yeah.
But you managed to do the tour anyway.
I did the tour, and I wanted to go back home. It was never my plan to stay, but the second last stop on our tour was Berlin.
Aha, now we're in Berlin.
Yeah, I fell in love with Berlin. I really did. I felt like I'd been here before, or that I belonged here. I felt like home. And it's strange now when I fly to Australia, I feel like I'm going home to see my family, but I don't feel like I'm going home anymore. But when I come to Berlin Tegel, which is so strange because Berlin Tegel is so, what do they say in Berlin? Du bist so dreckig und grau. So hässlich und grau, keine Ahnung.
Hässlich und grau.
Yeah, hässlich und grau.
That's funny.
But yeah, I just feel like I come home. It's really strange.
Yeah.
I love it. I really do. I love Berlin. So I stayed. I called my mom. I said, cancel everything. I'm staying.
And how long has it been now? So
8
now we know your age.
Yes. I think I've been here for 8 years now. It was 2007. So what's that? 9 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now you landed in the wonderful area of Schöneberg. You found this beautiful apartment.
Yes.
Which you decorated.
I did decorate it myself.
You do that
I
too?
do, yes. I have a company that I've started. It's like a second leg to stand on, as we say, you know, when you're in the arts.
Yeah. What's the name of your
It's
company?
called Aufgehübscht Berlin.
Oh, süß.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Aufgehübscht Berlin, and I specialize in decorating. So I do complete renovations as well. This apartment had a wall here and a completely different. I opened everything up. I like to open spaces up and give them lots of light. Yeah, and it's called Aufgehübscht Berlin, and I also decorate apartments. It's called home staging. It's very popular in Australia to decorate an apartment to sell the apartment.
Ah,
so you decorate it before you sell
of course.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they start doing this too.
It's
now
kind of
in
something that's
Germany,
starting in Germany. So I'm kind of starting it as well. And I've done a couple of other people's flats just coming in and aufhübsching. So I don't know what that word is in English. I'm not sure. Aufhübschen. To freshen it up, I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
make it pretty. Pimp it up.
Pimp it up.
Yeah.
That's my slogan. Pimp up my flat.
Pimp up my flat,
Yeah.
exactly. But I love aufgehübscht. I love the word. I hope you have a patent on it. I don't know what it is.
I should patent
Yeah,
it.
please do
maybe.
that before we air it.
Yes.
Patent it. And so we're going to show later on, you're going to perform here in Berlin?
Yeah, Berlin has kind of become a little base for me where I do a lot of performing. I love Schöneberg because of the film Cabaret. It's my favorite film. It's my favorite role to play. I feel like very like Liza, very like Sally Bowles when I'm living in Schöneberg, which is where she lived at the Nollendorfplatz.
Oh, really? Yeah,
that's
cool.
It's kind of where this story took place in the 20s and 30s in Berlin. It's a very interesting time for me. It's something that I'm very passionate about, the 20s in Berlin and all of the cabaret and all of the stuff that was going on. I feel like Berlin today is very similar to back then. A lot of political change, a lot of new influence of tourists and English-speaking people, and Berlin's alive again. I mean, when I moved here in 2007, the difference between then and now is incredible.
It's really lots of changes.
Yeah, I mean, I fought so hard to learn to speak German, which I do so well now, and now everybody wants me to speak English. And if I go to Mitte, for example, in the middle of Berlin, where I spend a lot of time, nobody speaks German there. There's lots of foreigners, and I think it's great. I think it's wonderful for Berlin as a city.
So the both worlds, you have your Australian world here. There are lots of Australians here too, and then the Berlinerisch. Yes.
And all of my theaters in Berlin. So I've performed at the Theater des Westens, which is an old house, and the director of the Theater des Westens in its heyday, in its fabulous time, Helmut Baumann is his name. He's become a very good friend of mine. I met him doing a show with him in the Komische Oper, which is also a theatre where I perform. It's an opera house here. And that's directed by an Australian man called Barry Kosky.
Oh, really? Yeah, good.
Bring on the Australian-Berlin connection. Yeah. So,
and what was the show name? Was it Fred and Sally? No.
Sally and Fred is what I did.
Sally and Fred.
Yeah, that's what I did with Helmut. I did a show with him together, and that was at the Berlin Wintergarten, which is a variety theatre. It's just down the road.
To worry if you have no money. People on the river are happy to give. Big wheels keep on turning. Proud baby keep on burning. And it all on going. Ho! All right. Ow! Ow!
Weißt du? Alle!
So you've been basically playing in every musical place in Berlin?
I think I've almost played at every theatre, which is nice.
Great.
The opera houses and the theatres and the jazz clubs as well, at Quasimodo, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I love to just get right in there in the theatre scene of Berlin. I feel like I'm living in the 20s again, but it's 2016.
Before we go now to your favorite, you want to show me your favorite cafe, your neighborhood?
Sure, yeah.
We're going to take a walk there. Just let me know, what was the first sightseeing you wanted to see from Berlin?
The first sight that I wanted to see.
Like the Brandenburger Gate? Or
the Brandenburger Gate was really important. I think especially with the history and the wall and all of that, that was really cool to stand there and to see where the wall would have been, and these pictures that you see in history, and suddenly you're there and you can imagine it, which is kind of really cool. The first place I went to in Berlin was the Victoria Bar. I went for a cocktail.
That's kind of cool.
But that's also on the Potsdamer Straße. It's a cocktail bar. It's a very famous cocktail bar. I think for Berliners, I don't think it's very much a tourist place to go, but it's with the locals, and if you want a good cocktail, and I still go there. I love them. I know the owners. They're wonderful people.
And they speak a lot of English there too, no?
They do, yes, of course. Yeah. And they're very international, and they're always off doing conventions in, South America with all these like famous bartenders there. And that bar is really brilliant. It was the first place I went to when I came to Berlin. It was the first. Someone said, let's go for a drink at the Victoria Bar, and I still go there every other day, especially when I'm working at the Wintergarten on my way home. I can't help it.
But they're not open yet?
They're not.
2 o'clock?
It's a shame. But my favourite cafe, definitely.
Yeah, we go there.
I always go for coffee.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it, and I want to know more about Sarah.
Warten zu begießen.
Ja.
Das ist Berlin, wie es weint und wie es lacht. Das ist Berlin, wie es weint und wie es lacht.
Bin ein Berliner.